I am back with another Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. It is also the Friday Product Focus, or Product Focus Fridays, I think is what it is called. I apologize if I butchered that one. The product that we will be focusing on is the Heidi Swapp collection, but it's also Flare. Now, I have two different types of Flare. One is the metal kind that's kind of like a button, and then the other one is like an epoxy kind where it has little, it's like a piece of paper and then it's got a little enamel sticker on top of it, okay? And these ones here are from the Scrap, oh, it's not Scrap Happy, I apologize. So it is an Etsy store is where you find these. And anyways, I just wanted to point out that I had two different types of Flare in my stash. And then I'm also going to be, here's the sketch, sorry. I'm going to be stretching my sketch. And so it's going to be, actually, I probably won't stretch this portion of it, but I will be making a 2-page layout. Okay, so I'm basically just going to add to that sketch, and I'm going to be doing SeaWorld. So it's my very last, no it's not, I lied, ha! So I've pulled out a couple Heidi Swapp pieces, and because I want this to be my title, this is just a patch that I had picked up at SeaWorld way back in the day. Yeah, it's even got the SeaWorld logo. Anyways, I think I picked up these stickers too. I can't remember. But I went through my stash and picked out all my Heidi Swapp. Well, I don't have a whole lot. I thought that I did, but I don't. I guess I must have gifted it because it's just not my style. But this one here really was my style, and it's the Hawthorne collection. That's which one it is. But because this has a lot of blues in it, the Hawthorne collection kind of sort of didn't match unless I chose pieces that didn't have any of this purpley pink. And so that's what I did. I went through all of these stickers, which this one's almost used up. Yep. All of those stickers, and then her little minkable embellishments. So I tried my hand at the mink. I'm not very good at it. I have 2 scraps left over from the paper pad. Now the paper pad is only single-sided, and then if you bought them individually, they had a print on the other side. I have 3 photos instead of 2, and then I have 2 wood grain that I'm going to be using as my background. Now I originally wanted to use this really pretty blue that she had. It was kind of like a dark blue, almost black, and then it had a lighter blue in it, and so it reminded me of the water, but I only had 1 piece of that, and I need this to stretch all the way across for my map to go. And so basically what I plan on doing is sticking my map on the 2-page layout and then creating this sketch over here on my leftovers. Okay, so that is kind of sort of my game plan. That was what I had to do. I picked out these 2 flares so that way they could kind of bring in some more blue going on. And I think that's about it. And I'm ready to get going. I was debating about cutting off this yellow because it is kind of obnoxious, but the logo, I believe, has yellow in it. Not that one. Right here. So there is yellow in the little stickers here. But also down here in the yellow, it states what year this map was printed. And I absolutely love seeing how everything changes over time, you know, from theme park to theme park, from year to year, or even years to years. All right, let's get going. All right, off camera, I went ahead and trimmed off all of my branding strips, as well as picked out some photo mats for my pictures, and then I am just attaching them. So I do have 2 different photo mats. I just went into my scraps and picked out some blue. I honestly didn't think that it really mattered that much, but 2 of the blue is kind of like a pearlescent, and then the other one is just plain cardstock. So, but I thought that they matched pretty well. Now, when I glue a map to a layout, I
put glue in all the creases. I want to make sure that it doesn't rip in those sections, especially when I want to pick it back up if I make a mistake, and which I always do. So now I'm just trying to line up the two pieces of paper. It does kind of give me a little bit of a fit, but I get it to work. And then I just take my Cricut scraper and I run it down all of, excuse me, I run it down all of the seams to make sure that they are glued down. Now, when I do cut my two pieces in half, I do have to say that I have to add a little bit of extra adhesive because I didn't put adhesive where I assumed the seam was. So, but it's not a big deal. So yeah, here's where I cut it in half. I started kind of sort of decorating the layout as it was a 2-page, but then I realized that if I did that, I was going to forget about the sketch, and and then I would be in trouble because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So right now I'm just cutting out this cute little manta ray. I want to tuck a piece of paper in or underneath him, so that way all of this mumbo jumbo of what was in the park and all that other weird stuff gets covered up. I think it's too busy, and I think that it takes a lot away from the map. It's, in all reality, I'm okay not knowing what things were called, what restaurants were where there was restrooms, things like that. I am perfectly okay with not having any of that detail. So some of the stuff is actually labeled on the map as well. I think that this little legend key thing is more for, like getting down what is in the, that area type thing. So anywho, I decided I was going to go ahead and work on the sketch again. If I worked on it as a 2-page layout, I would have forgotten about the sketch and I wouldn't have done it, in all honesty. So I am just focusing on that center section where it has a piece of paper like going across both of the photos. And the more that I looked at the sketch, I actually kind of sort of didn't realize that there was more paper to that sketch than I anticipated. And so it's like, oh, I didn't realize that. When I first glanced at the sketch, all I saw was that piece of paper going across, and that was it. So I do make a decision later that I need to go into my ocean box and pull out some more papers. So the first paper that I'm going to pull out in a minute is this little leftover from Creative Memories. I've used it on about 2 other layouts, and I'm dying to get it used up. Could I just throw it away? Yes, I can. But it's just such a fun pattern that I don't really want to. So I did do my 2 little cuts that I had not noticed before, but this one represents the little floral piece of paper that is on the sketch. And I'm just trying to get it to where it's, for one, even, because I think that it's not. And then I finally decide to pull out my ruler to make sure that it is, and it is. Okay. Sometimes I do things the hard way. And this one did not go on even. It even has guidelines, and I still didn't put it on even. Go me. So then I'm just going to attach my photos. And when I finally get to the 3rd photo, this is where I realize again that there's a piece of paper behind this 3rd photo. And it's like, what on earth? Why didn't I do a better job at looking at this sketch before turning the camera on? I mean, it's not very nice of me. I just am like, what on earth? So I'm going through all of my little 6x6s. I'm trying to find a color. If I would have known this, I probably would not have used the Creative Memories piece of paper. It is an off color, and my problem is that I just don't have anything that matches it or that meshes well with it. So I was having a hard time trying to figure it out, but I did find this little seaweed looking one, and I cut it down. I cut it about, I wanted to make sure that it was larger, but not too much larger than the photo mat. So yeah, so I just cut it down to like 3.5 by 4.5, somewhere in there. And I really like it. It did have a spot of orange that I wasn't too impressed with, but I'm going to use this little tag to help me conceal the orange piece. So, and now I'm just trying to figure out, what else do I want on the layout? By now I've pretty much, messed up the sketch, and the only thing that I got right was the little piece going across the two photos. I gave up. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to start decorating because clearly that's all I want to do. And yeah, that's where I'm going to go with this. The little tag represents the numbers that are at the bottom of that photo in the sketch. I thought that, that's my representation, and it works rather well. I'm trying to throw in a second flare because in reality, I kind of want 3 flares on here, only because that's what I picked out. And then I also don't want to put them away. I do have to put them away because I don't use all of the camera flares. But yeah, that's the reality of it is that I picked them out, so I want to use them. I did have to put 2 foam tapes on the bottom of that blue flare down there. And when I put a patch on a layout, because yes, I do put patches. This isn't my first patch, and it won't be my last. But when I do add a patch to my layout, I use tear tape or score tape, depending on the company that you purchase it from. I do end up doing that only because I want to make sure that it sticks. It's got a slick background and or a back to it, and so I'm afraid that liquid glue will seep right through, and then I'll have glue on the front of my patch, and then the double-sided tape I just feel like won't work at all. So anyways, I took one of my labels from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and I decided to cut it in half and put it in 2 areas where I felt like needed something else, and I think that it worked out rather well. And now I feel like I'm done with that side of the layout. So again, I'm going to cover up this, I think it's a legend. It just tells you what these little icons mean and all that stuff. I'm just going to cover them all up using my leftover strips. I'm using a branding strip, and then this blue piece was left over from the photo mats that I did. So it brings that blue over to the other side of the layout. I'm just rubbing off some extra adhesive that I got on the blue because it wasn't exactly wide enough for my tape. I took one of those SeaWorld stickers. Now I do realize the map says SeaWorld right next door to it, but I like the dimension and the gloss that this sticker adds to this little area of like noticeability. I don't know. It's an area of interest. That's what I'm looking for. So, and then I decided to back my heart with the same paper that I put on the other side as well, bringing those colors over. And that's it. I am done. This sketch was uber super simple. I do wish I would have paid attention a little bit more to what was actually in the sketch, because there was a lot that I didn't see. And that is sometimes how it works. I just take one quick glance at a sketch and think, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And I don't pay attention to really what was in the sketch. So anywho, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you check out everyone else. Their links are down below who is playing along with these sketches. And if you play along with Product Focus Friday, let me know. Tag me in your post, and I would love to see how you use your flare or how you use your Heidi swap. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.